7 reasons why you should wait for the iPhone 6s/7. They're obviously not going to skip the S version because they can be lazy and make an S version and sell a few million of those and then wait until next year to release the 7. So yeah, I don't know why they're going to even think about calling it the 7, because the iPhone 6 is already out, and ever since the iPhone 3GS, there's always been an S version of the iPhone followed by the previous. So yeah, it's going to be called the iPhone 6S because Apple is lazy. So they'll just re-release the iPhone 6 with a few minor changes and make a few more billion in revenue. Yep. Sell millions of overpriced iPhones that only cost like $170 to make, and then they have the balls to sell it for $600 or more off contract. Oh. Well, we're glad you asked. Here they are. The iPhone 6s is rumored to have a sturdier design. I was reading some random article about rumors of what the iPhone 6s is going to be like, even though the iPhone 6s is already out. It's been out for a while, but I'm reading this article anyway because this video is pre-recorded. Oh. Yeah, the iPhone 7 is already pretty much out. I don't know when. But yeah, we're pretty much, by the time this video is going to be up, the iPhone 7 is already pretty much going to be out. But anyway, screw you! The iPhone 6s is rumored to have a sturdy design, and supposedly it's going to be thicker. Nope. iPhones have never gotten thicker. They've always gotten thinner ever since the original iPhone. So the 6s will be no different. It's going to be same thickness, most likely sturdier materials, but it will most definitely not be thicker. It's just fucking common sense. They're not going to make it thicker. Apple is known for making their products thinner. But if they use a sturdier material, then it won't bend. So then people won't be able to use their iPhone 6 Plus as a boomerang anymore. Yeah, let's find out if all these rumors are true. Then I can look back on this video later whenever it's up and find out what is true and what isn't true, because the iPhone 6s is already out, but obviously I'm not going to know that for probably 3 or 4 more months until they announce it sometime in September. But yeah, whenever that happens, I'll look back on this video and find out what they actually put on the iPhone 6s. Force Touch. Everyone keeps saying that Force Touch is going to be the biggest new thing on the iPhone 6s. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, a lot of rumors, especially from a credible source, have usually been pretty accurate with this crap. But yeah, Force Touch is supposedly going to be one of the biggest parts of the iPhone 6s. I don't know what the hell they could do with Force Touch. This iPhone has always pretty much ideally been the same since day one. It's just been the same repetitive row of icons. I mean, over the years, they've changed the look of it. They've added new things onto the home screen, like Control Center, Notification Center, changed the multitasking look and functionality, blah, blah, blah. But overall, when you look at the home screen of an iPhone, it's pretty much remained exactly the same since day one. And it works. It works. Why fix what isn't broken? But I just don't see what they could do with Force Touch, because I highly doubt they're ever going to add anything out of the ordinary. I mean, they haven't even added any multi-windowing to the iPhone. They added it to the iPad, but they haven't added it to the bigger iPhones. Why wouldn't you add multi-windowing to the bigger iPhones, especially the 6 Plus? You have this big phone and nothing to do with it. You figure they could take advantage of that whole reachability thing where you tap twice on the Touch ID sensor, not click it, but just tap on it twice and it brings the whole screen down. You figure you could add another window up there, but no! Of course they're just going to ignore that because they're retarded. And then obviously they're going to add multi-window to the new iPhones eventually. They're just gonna probably take several more years to do that, even though they could just do it right now, but they're fucking retarded. So yeah, Force Touch. Force Touch is gonna be on the next iPhone. It'll be interesting to see what they're gonna do with it. But so far, at least from the code that developers have discovered in iOS 9, iOS 9 is already prepared for Force Touch technology. So I won't be surprised if we see Force Touch, which has been on the Apple Watch. It's rumored that Force Touch will be exclusive to the iPhone 6s Plus only. Why? Why would they have Force Touch on a tiny little inch or inch and a half screen on a watch, and they'll only have it on the 6 Plus? Really? Why don't they just add it to the 6s too? Apple doesn't make any sense. It's like, why do they add multi-windowing to the iPad? Only the latest iPad, of course, and not the latest iPhone 6 Plus. If they don't add multi-windowing to the 6s Plus, I'm going to be irritated. They should honestly add it to the iPhone 6 and 6s as well, but whatever, bite me. This is why I only get a new iPhone like once every 3 or 4 years rather than waste a bunch of money getting the next one every year. It's a waste of money. I have the iPhone 5s. I've had that phone for a few years already, since a couple months after it came out. And I'm most likely not going to get the 6s. Probably going to wait for the 7, iPhone 7, even though I only get S versions. But yeah, I'm going to just wait until the iPhone 7 comes out, and then if there's any interesting changes, and if they make the design look better, because I don't like the look of the iPhone 6 design. So if they make the iPhone 7 look better, like get rid of those tacky, ugly lines on the back of the phone, just at least add a full color to it, like with the iPhone 5, not just have these tacky lines on the back, on the top and bottom, and make the camera flat onto the phone, because that's what I love about the iPhone 5 and 5S and pretty much every iPhone, is that the camera doesn't stick out. It's flat, flush onto the phone. And now with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, the camera lens just sticks out and it's so tacky looking, and when you put it on a flat surface it wobbles. I hate it. So yeah, that's why the iPhone 6s is most likely going to look the same as the iPhone 6, so it's still going to have that tacky protruding camera lens. So I'm going to wait until the iPhone 7 and see if they get rid of that, and see if they just make the design look better in general. And then if I like the design of the iPhone 7, I'm going to just wait for the iPhone 7s. There's a reason why I only get S versions of the iPhone, is because it's ideally the same exact thing as the previous version, like iPhone 5, iPhone 5S. The 5S is exactly the same as the 5, except for maybe a couple tiny hardware features. It's ideally the same exact thing, it's just a little bit faster. It has a few exclusive features. So it's like, why would you get the iPhone 5 or the iPhone 6 or eventually the iPhone 7 when they're just going to release an S version like barely a year later, and it's going to be the same damn thing, just faster? It's just going to make you feel stupid. It's going to make you feel like you wasted your money, and it's just going to make your phone's just going to feel outdated and crappy already, because you're going to see the same identical phone that's faster for the same price. It's like, what the hell? So yeah, I only get S versions. So my next iPhone will most likely be the iPhone 7s. Unless I break my phone, then I probably wouldn't have a choice. I'll wind up getting the iPhone 6s. But that's the only way I would get an iPhone anytime soon, is if mine breaks. But it's in an OtterBox Defender case, and these are one of the best cases you can get for your smartphone right now, especially for the iPhone. They make the best cases. OtterBox Defender. I have two OtterBox Defenders, the pitch black one and the Realtree camo version. It's orange and has camo on the back. Yeah, I drop my phone usually on solid concrete at least once or twice a day on average, especially whenever I go out. I drop my phone at least once a day. If it wasn't for the OtterBox cases, my phone would have been broken like within a month of buying it. And then I'd be pissed off because I don't have insurance on my phone, so I'd have to pay full price for a new phone. But yeah, even though these OtterBox cases are some of the best cases you can get for your phone, they can only do so much. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days I end up dropping my phone onto the solid pavement like I normally do, and then the screen shatters. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the odds of that happening with an OtterBox Defender case are very, very, very slim, but it's still possible. But I've dropped my phone like at least a couple hundred times by now, mostly on solid concrete, and so far there's not a single scratch, no problems, no damage on my phone at all. That's why I use OtterBox Defender rather than using one of those slim single layer cases. So yeah, this is a pretty lengthy video because I'm yapping as usual. So let's keep reading on this article on Redmond Pi. I go on Redmond Pi a lot. I mean, I go on a lot of tech websites and a lot of tech YouTube channels, but Redmond Pi is one of my top 3 that I usually go on. They put a lot of pointless crap on here, but when it involves iPhone and Android, and Google in general, and Microsoft and Sony, those are the main things I like to read. Especially iPhone and Android. Those are what I read the most on here. I really hate rumors and reports though. I like seeing like official things, like it's officially been announced. Then I get all excited. But when it's just rumors and reports, I'm just like, oh, okay, let's read it anyway, whatever. It's probably just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, onward with the article. Improved performance. Well, this is super obvious. Every new iPhone that comes out is improved with the performance. Oh. It's rumored to include 2 gigs of RAM. Yeah, take long enough. Smartphones are already having 4 gigs of RAM, and the iPhone has had 1 gig of RAM since the iPhone 5. They are heavily overdue for a RAM upgrade, and they're also heavily due for a CPU core upgrade. The iPhone has been on the same amount of RAM and the same dual-core processor for, what, 5 years now? Yeah, they're heavily overdue for more RAM and a better CPU. They need to go quad-core already, damn it. I mean, there's no point in a 6 or 8 core CPU on a phone. There's not even any point in that on a computer right now. Most games and applications can't take advantage of more than 4 cores anyway. That's why the iPhone has been 2 cores for several years, because the majority of apps don't use more than 2 cores, so it's pointless. That's why the iPhone still has the same performance on benchmark tests and high graphics gaming as all these other phones that have 6 and 8 core CPUs. Because, yeah, most games don't use more than 2 cores. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. But yeah, 2 gigs of RAM, just like in the iPad Air 2. Super obvious they're going to put 2 gigs of RAM, because it just seems like it's about that time to increase the specs. You'll also likely pack Apple's next generation A9 chip. I want to wait for the A12 chip, damn it. A9 chip isn't really going to be all that special. It's most likely going to be a tri-core CPU, most likely at the same clock speed, 1.4 gigahertz. That's not really very fast. But yeah, by the time, let's see, 810. No, I'm actually going to wait for the A11 chip, because that will be in the iPhone 7s. iPhone 7 will have the A10 chip, and then the 7s will more than likely be quad-core with an increased clock speed, and then it'll probably be at 2 gigs of RAM still by then, or possibly 3, who knows? If they end up changing up their cycle by then, they might add more RAM by the time the 7s is out, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. The 7s would probably still be stuck with 2 gigs of RAM. But I would definitely want their Apple's A11 chip. That will finally convince me to get a new iPhone by then. That's why I'm getting the 7S, skipping the 6S, skipping the 7, getting the 7S. What's the advantage of having more RAM and a new processor, you ask? Super fucking self-explanatory, dumb Redmond pie. Let's keep reading anyway. Well, you can multitask better. No. Apps will launch quicker. And of course, gaming will be more and more so than ever before. RAM doesn't really help a whole lot with gaming. It's more the GPU and CPU have the biggest effect. But with RAM, more crap can go on at a time, so I guess it would help a little bit, but RAM doesn't really help a whole lot with gaming. I mean, I think 2 gigs of RAM would be, I wouldn't say too much, not too little. It'd be right in the middle for the iPhone. If they could put 3 gigs of RAM in the iPhone, that would be perfect. That would pretty much be future-proof for the next 5 years minimum. At least until they stop supporting it. Larger battery? Probably not, because it's going to be the same size. They'll probably make the battery more efficient, probably increase the milliamp in the battery, but definitely won't be a bigger battery. Pretty sure the battery life is going to be the same on the 6S. Huge upgrade for front and rear cameras. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. Digging into iOS 9's code has revealed that the next iPhone will feature a front-facing camera with 1080p video recording. About damn time. I think that's super obvious, since in iOS 9 beta they've already been giving us the option to change the video resolution settings. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's pretty much a given that the front-facing camera is finally going to see some improvement. 1080p video recording with flash support, which means that the Cupertino's next handset will be quite the selfie king. Are they really going to put a flash on the front-facing camera? What the hell's going to be the point in that? Whatever. And with rumors constantly surfing that the iPhone 6S will have an improved rear camera with more megapixels, 12. That's a decent megapixel increase, I guess. To be more exact, with smaller pixels on the sensor, the handset will have more powerful shooters on both front and back. The rear camera is decent. They just need to increase the megapixel count and improve the focus, because at least the focusing on my current iPhone 5S is horrible. It keeps focusing repeatedly when it doesn't need to, and sometimes it takes forever to focus, especially in low lighting. I keep having to manually tap to focus a million times before it finally focuses at night. They've improved the focusing a little bit on the iPhone 6, but on the 5S it's pretty bad. You know, with the rear camera, all I would like to see is more megapixels and faster taking pictures, better aperture, better for low lighting, much better in low lighting. I would love to see the next iPhone have better low light capabilities. That's about it, really. And the front facing camera is what needs the biggest upgrade. It's a 1.2 megapixel camera. What the hell? There are some Android phones out there that have 5, even 8 megapixel front-facing cameras. What gives? And the iPhone still has a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Are you fucking serious? Oh, they should upgrade it to at least a 5 megapixel front-facing camera by now. At least. Make it a 5 megapixel camera, damn it. And they better make it 1080p video recording. Because if they do, if they add all these features, oh, I can just imagine what the iPhone 7 and even 7S is going to pack. Because that's going to be my next phone. Not going to be for a couple more years though, sadly, so I hope my current iPhone can hold out by then without breaking, because I keep dropping it. But yeah, rose gold option, don't really care about that, but everyone keeps saying that the next iPhone is going to come in a rose gold option. That seems nice, but I would still stick with the space gray version. assuming that they keep making space gray, unless they decide to make a pitch black version. Then I'll have a little orgy over that because I love black. Yeah, not long ago now, the new iPhone is just around the corner, just a few more months. According to a leak from Vodafone, we should see the announcement in September. Duh! They've always been announcing the new iPhone sometime in September. I think since, what, the iPhone 5? But yeah, looking at all the rumored features, this is probably the worst time to get iPhone 6 right now, and 6 Plus. Well, duh. The iPhone 6 is pretty much the iPhone 5S. The only difference is bigger screen. There's really no difference in terms of hardware. It's pointless. Greg has an iPhone 6 and it's the same damn thing. It's just a bigger screen. So yeah, hopefully they'll do something. They'll make some notable amount of new changes to the 6S, and then the 6S will basically be... iPhone 6S is pretty much going to be what the iPhone 6 should have been in the first place. That's why I only get the S versions. I can't stress this enough, but that's why I only get the S versions, because the S versions of iPhones is basically what it should have been in the first place. Like when the iPhone 6S comes out, that's what the 6 was supposed to be in the first place. So skip it. Skip the iPhone 7 too. Just get the S versions. But it's still a great phone. And if you can wait a couple months, this iPhone 6S/7 6S dipshit will be an even better purchase, considering the fact that it will launch at the same price points as a current iPhone with all the additional features mentioned above, and in only 2 to 3 months from now. Yeah. I guess I could have fun over the next year or so, just going into the Apple stores in September to screw around with the new iPhone 6S. That's what I did for quite a while, for several years back when I had my iPhone 3G, and I wanted a new iPhone, but I couldn't afford it. So I just kept going into the Apple store, and every time a new iPhone would come out, I just keep going into the Apple store and screwing around with the new iPhone. I'd mess around with the iPhone 3GS. I wanted that phone because it could record video, but my parents wouldn't get me it. And then eventually the iPhone 4 came out, and that was like the sexiest iPhone yet, and I wanted it really bad, but again, parents didn't get me it. So I just kept going into the Apple store all the time and screwing around with the iPhone 4. And then I just kept trying to make the best out of the iPhone 3G that I had now, but it was slow as hell. And it couldn't even record video or play any high quality games. It was kind of driving me crazy. I liked it, but it was just slow as hell, and I wanted a better video camera. And then the iPhone 4S came out. I wanted that one too, but of course, parents wouldn't buy me it. And then, finally, later on, when I ended up getting my own job and my own money, and I ended up living by myself, I just bought the iPhone 5S. Finally. And that was finally. I had the iPhone 3G for, let's see, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12. I had that phone for a little over 3 years until I finally just decided to sell it and put the money towards an Android phone that could record video. And then that was when I got my Galaxy S2, because that was when I started working, and then I just sold my iPhone so I could put that money towards the Galaxy S2, because I didn't currently have any money and I wanted it now. And then I had the Galaxy S2 for like a couple years until I finally got the iPhone 5S. And then I had that phone for... Actually, before I got that phone, that was when I got that cheap $20 phone on Cricket for... It was like 20 bucks. Some cheap-ass Android phone. And then I just bought that phone just for the sake of switching carriers. And then like a month later, that's when I finally bought the iPhone 5S. And then I had that phone for a couple years, and then I bought another Android phone, the ZTE Grand X Max Plus, because I wanted a phablet. I wanted a phone with a big screen, but I didn't really want to use it so much as a phone. So I only used it for a phone for like a couple months, and then I just went back to using my iPhone, and then I used that phone for the bigger screen. But yeah, I don't really see the point in getting a phablet. It was kind of stupid. Like, why the hell did I get that? Because, you know, I was better off just getting a damn tablet instead. Because I just use that phone for the bigger screen. I don't use it for a phone. So it's like, why get a phablet? I should have just put that money towards a tablet instead. So I would have had an even bigger screen. But there's no tablets that are out right now that I'm really interested in. And the very, very few that I would be interested in are severely overpriced. They're like $500 to $700. No thanks. I go big or I go home. And in this case, this is a rare case where I just go home because I don't have the money. But yeah, anyway, that's just been me rambling on about the latest crap, even though this isn't even the latest crap because this video is old. Anyway, see you folks!